I think when people think of the military, they think about the troops that are in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I don't think that people think as much about the military families and the people that are left behind.
It's definitely different. We were always together, and then all of a sudden he's gone. He's in basic training, and then he's gone for an entire year, our very first year of marriage. But we had $1,500 phone bills because we talked every day.
He has deployed once. It was probably one of the last 15-month deployment rotations. So it was a long one, and it was a hard one because it was our first deployment too. It's the first time I'd ever had to, as a military spouse, take care of the family by myself and have my husband away.
I am married to an active duty Marine. We have 3 children, and he has deployed 4 times to a combat zone and multiple times in just the normal course of his military career. So a lot of family separations, a lot of ups and downs where he's been out of the home, a lot of challenges in our own home life that I have had to deal with on my own because he's gone.
Every time Nathan leaves, I'm a single parent. So that's a definite challenge, just trying to do everything for her and be everything for her, and you can't. You can't get everything done in a day.
There is so much to do in one home alone.
Hold on, I'll be right there.
I have to tell myself, I can do it all. I can do it all. Just to make it through the day sometimes.
I had to learn to do it all by myself, and that with 2 kids, that was pretty stressful. And there was times where I would hide after the kids went to bed and cry because the day was so hard on me. And it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, but something would trigger it to make it feel 10 times harder.
I think one of the upsides is knowing that you're serving a greater purpose. It doesn't make it any easier, but I think it just makes everything kind of a little bit more bearable, knowing that people get to continue to enjoy the lives that they live, the way they live them, in part because my husband serves in the military.
I think that we are as important to their mission as their training is to their mission. The Marine Corps enlists Marines but retains families. And so if we can keep our families growing, positive, happy, and encourage them, then we're going to retain better Marines.
If he sat in Iraq or Afghanistan and was worried about how his kids were doing, that's going to hurt his job. He's going to not be focused, and if he's not focused, that puts him and all of his battle buddies in a very dangerous situation. So I know that if I'm taking care of the day-to-day, which may not be a big deal to anybody else, it's one less thing he's got to worry about. So he can focus and do what he needs to do for the Army, for the country.
With every military family, and most military families, this will be very familiar, you're not afforded the opportunity to stay in one place for very long. So it's been 3 years. It's time for us to pick up, move all our household goods, move to another installation, and try and plug into that community. When you live in base housing, they do a pre-inspection to see if there are any major maintenance issues or repair issues that they have to take care of, and to also let you know exactly what you need to do to get the house ready for a turnover to a new tenant. They'll probably end up turning this house over in about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and a new tenant will move in.
We have PCS, which is a permanent change of station from Fort Hood, Texas to Fort Drum, New York. And we are in the transition now. We got housing, but we're waiting on our household goods to get here, get all the house set up, and kind of start over here now.
I know he's going to deploy again. It's going to happen, and it scares me. We tell each other everything, and I think that helps a lot because I can tell him, hey, I'm scared, or hey, I'm starting to freak out here about this. We're really close because we know we have to be dependent on each other. We have to trust each other, and that makes us a lot stronger and a lot more committed, I think, than some other couples, I guess.
To me, we were invincible. Like, our relationship was sent from the gods. You know, it was just like one of those things where everybody's invincible. You kind of have to be. That's how you have to survive it until you really realize we're all so not invincible. I heard the doorbell, and I answered it with a smile because I thought it was going to be my friend, and it was 2 gentlemen in Class A uniforms. I remember them saying, the President of the United States regrets to inform you, and then your husband, CW2 Joshua Roberts, was killed in action, and I did not know how to tell my children that their daddy was gone.
We have a ladybug tree. See?
We have a Team Orange minivan painted after Daddy's KTM orange dirt bike. Hopefully he gets to see it way up there, wherever he's at. He can always see where we're going. His focus was always his children. When he was around, I mean, that's all he wanted to do was spend time with them, jump on the trampoline with them, teach them. If you're gonna put something in Josh's name, a child development center is the way to go. So we just came from the child development center, and now we're headed over to the hangar, where I'm gonna show you what his commander and some of the guys put together. I love to come out and see it. Put flowers on it sometimes and stuff. That's your daddy. That's your daddy right there. You look around and you see other military families, other husbands that are home, and they have their children on their shoulders, and you try to just keep it together because you don't want to be the crazy widow in the middle of the parking lot crying because some other daddy got to come home for their children. Like, you're happy, but it's still, it hurts. It hurts. I hurt for my husband not being here as the father. I hurt for him so bad not being here to see his kids and not being that dad that got to come home.
If I had to say one thing to the civilian world, would be that we don't decide whether it's right or wrong to go to war. A lot of us don't agree with it. Some of us do agree with it. We don't get to choose what we do and how we do it, but we just do it because it needs to be done for the country. They might have a little bit more of an understanding and more appreciative of us.
I want them to appreciate the freedom to say what they want, do what they want. I want people to appreciate their freedoms, because what every person in the military does is they fight for and they ensure the freedom of our lives.
One thing I could say, and I feel very comfortable saying this on behalf of the majority of military spouses out there, is we are incredibly proud of who we are. We have an extremely proud group of people that serve this country.
He wanted to serve his country and his family, and he always told the girls that he had to go protect this country from the bad guys, and that's his duty and his mission, and he completed it to the fullest extent, and I'm proud of him.